I walked towards the crowd, seeing the airship from a long ways away. My tail swayed back and forth as I continued. I stretched, feeling my back pop, feeling exhausted after traveling across the ocean on the boat, arriving at the port that led to the Kingdom of Vale. And now again, I say, walking to the airship that'll take me to Beacon Academy. I stood towards the back of the crowd, waiting to board the airship. I looked around me, taking in the large amount of people trying out for a chance to get into Beacon Academy. My brown feline tail swayed in amazement at the magnitude. There had to be hundreds of people with aspiring dreams of becoming Grimm hunters, or even mercenaries for hire. I let out a sigh. I could look on the faces of many of them and see how truly oblivious they were. I even heard one student say how much fun it's going to be when they actually start fighting Grimm. I had to fight the urge to tell him how dangerous Grimm were. That even with all the experience I had killing these things under the training of my father, that even I could easily die with one simple mistake. Instead, I straightened up and watched the doors to the airship open, and we all shuffled in. I felt a hand on my shoulder. I turned around swiftly, startled by the unexpected touch. He was a young man of 26, around 8 years older than me. Some rumors say he was trained by the renowned Team Stark. His name was Jet Algrave. His black hair was cut short but never fixed, much like he just woke up. He was probably 3 inches taller than me, so roughly 6 feet tall. His amber eyes ever examining, his cat ears twitching, and his tail swayed. He was a rare Faunus with 2 animal characteristics instead of just 1 like me. He was the messenger for the schools, though he is mainly based in my Grimm-surrounded town of Tiudal in the Kingdom of Anima. He smirked a little.
I understand. You're nervous.
I'm not nervous. I wasn't. I was more uncertain. I had never been around people besides those in my village and the occasional based hunter. Being surrounded by a large crowd of people around my age was just new.
Right. Sure you are. Then let's hop aboard and start a new chapter in Rowan Reignier's story.
The airship was huge. There were hundreds of us, and everyone still had beyond enough room to move around. I was amazed looking around at the giant cabin as a beat was heard and a voice was heard throughout the area.
Future students of Beacon Academy, we are about to take off. Please do not go on the balconies till we reach the air.
I had no idea where the voice was coming from, but no one else was nervous, so I calmed myself down. I was fighting the urge to draw a jaded thorn, my 36-inch straight dual-edged katana. I let out a sigh, just as the airship shook violently as it took flight. I instantly gripped something, my eyes widening, wondering why no one else was panicking. I felt another hand on my shoulder. This time it was a Cat Faunus, only with cat ears. Her black hair was long and her amber eyes were calm. She wore a white shirt with a black vest and with black pants.
Calm yourself. It's just turbulence.
What the hell was that? Turbulence?
The airship is rising up, fighting against the force of gravity, so it shakes. It's normal. We're fine. May want to watch that. Much scarier things out there than turbulence.
She turned and walked away. She never said her name, but that was fine. I could tell by her eyes. She was a survivor, meaning I would have all semester to ask her name. I looked around and went somewhere to be alone. I never really liked doing small talk and introducing myself. I went outside on the balcony and watched us float above the clouds. First thing I noticed was a small flicker over the balcony. I reached out and felt a gentle hum of a shield. probably to prevent people from falling out. It was amazing how we could be this far above. Not even the tallest tree in Tiudal that I climbed was not even close to this. I let myself attempt to let my mind wander instead of thinking how foolish many of these potential students are. I sighed and ran a hand through my short brown and red hair, my emerald eyes looking out at the sky below. I felt myself remembering my intense training from my father, almost dying from an Ursa attack, being told that my aura doesn't heal, joining the White Fang after people tried kidnapping my sister Violet. I sighed, touching my shoulder where the branch of the White Fang I was a part of had branded their insignia. I felt my heart beat faster as not so pleasant memories started to surface until a voice broke the anxiety.
Hi, I'm Ruby Rose. I'm 15 years old. I use a sight that turns into a high-impact sniper rifle. I like hunting Grimm and eating cookies. Oh, can I touch your tail?
I looked to my left, snapping out of my thoughts. The girl was younger than me, or at least appeared so. She was easily 5'3", had short brown hair with a single section dyed red. Her eyes were pretty silver. The girl was cute, but not mate cute. Cute, like my little sister, kind of cute. What?
Well, you see, I've never seen a faunus with a tail before, and you are here, and well, may I touch your tail?
The innocent excitement confused me greatly. It once again reminded me of my younger siblings when they asked me for something. Which is bad, because it's hard for me to say no. But I was determined. I didn't know this girl. I will say no. Sure?
Yay!
I held out my tail for her to touch. My face crimson in anger at my idiocies. I felt her gently pet my tail. I purred lightly, cursing myself for that natural reaction.
Oh my god! You purr!
I hit my head on the railing.
So, what's your name?
Rowan. Rowan.
That's a cool name! Where do you come from? What's your semblance? What's your weapon? Can we be friends?
Yeah, sure. I'm from a small forest village in Anima called Tiudal. My weapon is... I pulled out my sword. The blade was an emerald green color and about 36 inches in length. It was thinner, being a dual-edged straight katana. The young girl looked at it, almost expertly examining the weapon.
It's so pretty! Does it turn into a gun?
No, it doesn't turn into a gun.
That's boring.
I scratched the back of my head. It wasn't my fault my belief prohibited firearms.
What's your semblance? I got super speed.
Well, I, don't really talk about it.
Is it a bad one?
No!
Have you fought Grimm? I have. It's so exciting!
The girl was so childish and chipper about fighting Grimm. Even more parallels to my sister Violet. Yeah. She just smiled as she stopped playing with the cattail, and then stepped into my vision.
Well, I hope to see you later, Rowan. Bye!
Then she ran off at extreme speeds. My response was simply to shake my head and to not think about the situation. Though I would be lying if I said I didn't enjoy the random encounter. It brought back more positive memories, both recent and old, of the interactions between my siblings and I. They were so different than me. Violet, who had just turned 12 last week, was carefree and fearless. Unlike me, she was excited to start training to fight Grimm. None of that. That's a dangerous memory. Fear has no place. I repeated the motto of the Reigniers. I continued gazing out, thinking about the other three siblings. There were the twins, Sylvain and Jasmine, who were 8. Sylvain was built like a true Reignier male. He was already 5 foot even, was built like a well-rooted tree. He was much like their father, strong-willed, abrupt, and short-tempered. If Mom and I weren't so good at subduing him, he would be a force to be reckoned with. Though even I have to admit he is very effective with a mace, though not yet ready to fight like I do. Jazz was Jazz. She was very airheaded and ditzy, but so caring and sweet. She gets those traits from Mom's family. She has no interest in fighting Grimm. She seems more interested in dancing and helping others than fighting. Unfortunately, she was born in Tiudal and has the last name Reignier, so the choice isn't hers. Little Mabel was only 10 months old. There really isn't much to add with her except that I miss waking up to feed her since Dad refuses to, saying it's the mother's job. That is when once again my thoughts were interrupted.
Move out of the way!
From a guy running beside me, screaming. I moved farther just before he blew chunks over the side. I hurriedly looked away, not wanting to have a phantom reflex from seeing the, situation. My ears twitched towards the shrill sound. A girl about 17 with long white hair, icy blue eyes with an icier stare to match, and an almost gladiatorial wear. Blue pants, belts, gray breastplate, gauntlets that didn't go over her hands, and a combat dress black and silver. With a rapier at her waist, walked toward us, while the young man spewed everything to his unknown name. Beside the girl was a taller girl with long red hair and bright green eyes, and similar wear, but golden red. I didn't see a weapon, though she had probably put her weapon away, or the weapon was hidden away within her armor.
You see, Pyrrha, this is why they called us to sign up for Beacon. They needed champs, not chumps like these two.
Feeling a pang of insult at being called a chump, and being compared to someone who was spewing his chumps, my tail frizzed up. Who are you anyway to insult me or anyone else?
Who are we?
I was then more infuriated because they thought so highly of themselves that they believed they were famous.
Weiss, what did I tell you? We need to make friends and allies. No one wants to help us if we're all just jerks to them. Plus, they don't seem like bad people.
The one called Pyrrha smiled at me and slightly bowed, showing an obvious anima heritage, or at least influence.
Sorry for my sister. Let me introduce us. I'm Pyrrha Nikos, and she is...
Weiss, Schnee, Nikos, current champions of the Haven Tournament.
Yeah, well, I'm from Anima, and I still never heard of either of you. Weiss looked genuinely angry, then composed herself.
Probably can't afford a TV.
The boy turned around and blushed after looking at these two.
Oh, wow.
He moved by them and started doing a more closer pose.
Both of you ladies are absolutely beautiful.
Pyrrha giggled, actually seeming enjoying this man's disgrace. Weiss, however, was not pleased.
You disgusting armored street rat! You just got done throwing up. Who the hell do you think you are?
Jean Arc, short, sweet, rolls off the tongue. Ladies love it.
Once again, Pyrrha giggled, smiling genuinely. Was she actually flattered by this? I was feeling embarrassed for him by this point. Weiss seemed only to get more annoyed.
How disgusting, disgraceful, and despicable can you get? You look like nothing more than a lanky, annoying, socially intempt loser who is wearing a hand-me-down armor and probably can't even fight out of a cardboard box. You may as well just quit, because out there, it will get a lot worse than the truthful words that I'm speaking.
With every sentence, she stomped him back onto the balcony. He looked confused, shocked. He didn't know how to respond.
Just as I thought. One last word. Pathetic.
Weiss, we're here to help people.
I looked at the shocked and confused Jaune. He stayed that way for a couple minutes. Hey, you okay? He was taller than me by a few inches, was very fair-skinned, somewhat toned but lanky as hell. His hair was long and a mess. He had eyes that reminded me of the river I used to fish at back home.
Yeah, just flying isn't my thing. Or trains. Or anything but walking, to be honest.
The boy looked awkward and nervous, trying to distract from the verbal slaughter he had just been through.
My name's John Ark. Short, sweet, and a Lebenslabbit.
He attempted to change his demeanor like he did with the girls, but it was like putting makeup on a Beowulf. Not very effective. However, I decided to just ignore the cringe and move on. Rowan.
Ah, that's a cool name. You have a last name?
Yes.
Okay. So you looking forward to Beacon Academy?
It's a thing I have to do.
Oh. Right. Sorry I asked. Yeah, I understand what that feels like, though.
This boy looked pathetic and socially inept, but I could see the pressure in his stare. It hit close to home. I mentally kicked my ass. I hate feeling sympathetic. Hey. We'll get through initiation, okay?
See you later, Rowan.
The young man walked into the main part of the ship. I sighed, hoping for some time on my own. I closed my eyes, letting the hum of the ship relax me further. Flying wasn't so bad after the whole turbulence thing. After about 6 minutes, I heard the same ding that was heard earlier before the voice said something.
All future Beacon students into the main chamber of the Bulkhead.
Groaning at my relaxation ending, I turned around and walked into the main part of the ship. Or the chamber, as the voice said. Everyone was waiting around, talking amongst themselves. I saw Jaune, now with a sword and shield, and he waved at me to stand by him. I took 2 steps before someone grabbed my hand.
Rowan, let's go over here!
With her semblance, the little redhead dragged me away toward the complete opposite side of Jaune. I looked at what everyone else was looking at. It was a platform, probably 3 feet high. Above it was a glass dome about 4 feet in diameter.
This is gonna be so cool!
A beam of light struck down an image of a woman with glasses, a dress, and a blouse. Couldn't tell colors due to the green tint of the image. I was very confused on why we saw this image of this woman until it began moving. No one else looked shocked at this. Was this normal? What else have I not been exposed to?
Welcome, my future hunters and huntresses. I am Professor Glynda Goodwitch, teacher of semblance applications at Beacon Academy. Your journey towards honor and glory is about to begin. You will learn how to fight in unity against all forces that attempt to crumble the 4 kingdoms. Now, your initiation starts soon. Below you is the forest ruins of an attempt to colonize outside of the kingdom. This is where your initiation will take place. There are many ways of passing this test. After locking eyes with someone to trigger your partnerships, these 2 possible objectives become open to you. Way 1. Find a piece of an artifact, could be a weapon, a piece of armor, or even jewelry. The pair that finds the other half of your artifact becomes the other half of your team. Way 2. Survive 3 days in the wilderness. However, if you succeed in this way, your pair will be randomly put with another pair that either found a piece of an artifact but no one found the other half, or they also survived the 3 days. If in any way your partner is incapacitated, or you don't even find a partner, you will be sent home and will have to wait till next year to try again. Now, good luck and happy landings.
Wait, what? The image disappeared and I looked at Jaune, his face equally horrified. Before I could look at Ruby, the section of the floor she was standing on fell, dropping her and several other students. Ruby! Other people were now getting frightened. I didn't get to move away before I felt no floor below me. And gravity took control as I looked up and saw the airship below.